These are your section notes for 1.4. What I would recommend doing first is printing out the handout that says section 1.4 notes and using this video as you go through that handout. Our first question says answer the questions about the polynomial 12x plus 6 minus 3x. The first question says how many terms are in the expression? Well, I know an expression is separated, or terms are separated with plus and minus. So if we look at this particular problem, 12x is one term, 6 is one term, and negative 3x is one term. So that gives me 3 different terms. Coefficients are numbers that are in front of variables. So we have 2 variable groups there, 12x and negative 3x. The number in front of the first one is 12, and the number in front of the second one is 3. It happens to be negative, so that coefficient is actually negative 3. The variable is the letter within the problem, and that letter is x. The constant term is a term without a variable, and so the term without a variable here is 6. Like terms are terms with the same variable component, so 12x and negative 3x would be like terms. So again, 12x is a like term and negative 3x. Our next goal is to simplify. In our first one, it's a little tricky. They ask you 8 plus parentheses 12 plus x parentheses closed. You'll notice that there is a plus in front of the set of parentheses without a number. So that means all you have to do, since there's not a number directly in front of the parentheses, all you have to do is drop the parentheses and add them. So we would get 8 plus 12 plus x. Grouping our like terms here, 8 plus 12 would be a like group. 8 plus 12 is 20. Then you have a plus sign and x. Notice it's not 20 times x because there's a plus sign there. So bring the plus sign with it. And your answer is 20 plus x. Looking at your next one, since there is not a sign there, it's understood to be times. So 6 times 5x would be 30 with an x. And that's your answer. Our next two examples ask us to combine like terms. The way you combine like terms is you keep the variable part and you add the coefficients. So 6 plus 9 would be 15 with an x. Notice it's a plain x, not an x squared. Basically, you're saying I have 6 x's and I have 9 x's, so how many x's do I have? And that would be 15. 8a minus 5a would give me 3a. Our next heading talks about the distributive property. The distributive property occurs when you have a number directly in front of the set of parentheses. If you have this, you have a times parentheses b plus c. That means you're going to take that a and multiply it through the b and through the c. And that's how you get ab plus ac. Using the example below, we'll do the same thing with that 5. So I'm going to take that 5 and I'm going to distribute it through the set of parentheses. So the problem says 5 times parentheses 2x plus 3. Working it out, we would have 5 times 2x, which would be 10x, and 5 times 3 would be 15. That's your answer. You can't combine it any further because one is an x term and one is a constant. Your final answer is 10x plus 15. For the remainder of the problems from this section, we will just simplify. The top one looks really tricky because it has the fraction. We are going to multiply the fraction 1/3 through the parentheses 15x plus 24. Multiplying by 1/3 is the exact same thing as dividing by 3. So the easiest way to think about this one is we're going to divide this 15 by 3 and we're going to divide this 24 by 3. And so that would give me 15 divided by 3 would give me a 5 with the x there, and 24 divided by 3 would give me 8. Our next problem is 9x plus 2x plus 3y plus 4y. I can put my x groups together. So 9x plus 2x would give me 11x. I can put my y group together, so 3y plus 4y would give me 7y. So my answer is 11x plus 7y. The last problem is parentheses 9x plus 4 times 2. It does not matter if your number is in front of the parentheses or behind the parentheses, the distributive property still holds. So I'm going to take this 2 and I'm going to multiply it times 9x, and I'm also going to multiply it times 4. So this would give me 18x plus 8. Okay, here's our last group. In the top one, we are going to distribute. So I'm going to distribute this 5. Okay, let me back up and repeat the problem. So the problem is 5 times parentheses 2x plus 1, all in parentheses, plus 4x. So we're going to distribute the 5 through the set of parentheses, and so we get 10x plus 5. But then we have a 4x on the back. We just bring it over. Adding up your like terms here, 10x plus 4x would give me 14x. I have a constant 5, so my answer would just be 14x plus 5. Your next one is very tricky. You have a plus sign in front of the parentheses. Okay, the problem actually reads 7 plus parentheses 3 plus 2x close parentheses. You'll notice that there's only a plus sign in front of directly in front of the set of parentheses. So all that means that you have to do is drop the set of parentheses and you get 7 plus 3 plus 2x. Now combining your like terms, 7 plus 3 would give me 10 plus 2x. If your answer is out of order from my answer and you got 2x plus 10, that's correct. There's more than one way to write your answer. Looking at our last one, the problem says 2 times parentheses 3x plus 4, close your parentheses, plus 5 times parentheses 7x plus 1. I'm going to distribute the 2 through its group, and I'm going to distribute the 5 through its group. So this would give me 2 times 3x times 3x, which would give me 6x, and 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 7x would give me 35x, and 5 times 1 is 5. Combining your like terms, combining your x terms, you would have 6x plus 35x. 6 plus 35 would give me a 41x. 8 plus 5 would give me 13. So your final answer would be 41x plus